Spider-Man is one of my favorite games of all time. I got introduced to this game in my childhood and it was one of the first computer games I ever played. Every time I replay it, it amazes me how well it was crafted. Considering the time it was released, there were just so many memorable levels and missions in the game. The story was also so good. I got introduced to a lot of the Spider-Man characters and the lore because of this game, and honestly is one of the main reasons I ever became a Spider-Man fan. Since I never owned a PlayStation, I played it on my PC, so that version is more dear to me. In this video, I'll be trying to recreate the Spider-Man 2000 game using the Unity engine, so let's see how it's gonna turn out. We're gonna be recreating the first mission in this game, in which Spider-Man is stopping a bank robbery. It introduces us to the basic functions of the game like swinging and beating up the enemies, and it also has Black Cat. And of course, it opens up with the voice of Stan Lee.
Welcome, true believers and newcomers alike. Spider-Man co-creator Stan Lee here.
So the first thing we need for a Spider-Man game is Spider-Man. I found this model which I think is pretty good and matches the game's vibe. It even has the same Spider-Man logo on the back. I wanted to make sure this was accurate because a lot of the later Spider-Man movies had a different logo behind Spider-Man. I don't know why they changed it, maybe to look cooler. The original one looked a bit childish or cartoony, but I wanted to go exactly how it was in the game, so I chose this model. Then I imported it to Mixamo to rig it properly. For some reason it wasn't showing the textures, but once I imported it back to Blender, the texture showed up again. I downloaded some good animations from Mixamo. Now if you've seen the idle animation of Spider-Man in this game, it's a pretty iconic pose, and I couldn't find a similar animation on Mixamo, which means I have to create this animation myself, because if I just use a normal idle animation, it wouldn't do justice to this remake. For me, the core memory of this game is that pose. Whenever I think of this game, that Spider-Man pose is the first thing that comes to my mind. So if I want to recreate this game properly, I need that pose exactly how it was. I started analyzing how that pose actually is, then I tried to move all the body parts accordingly. It was pretty difficult at first. I wasn't able to get it right. I just couldn't get the exact feeling. It always felt like something was missing. And finally, I was able to crack it. Now I think it looks pretty accurate, almost like the real pose. I then created a slight movement in the animation to make it appear as if he's breathing. It's just like how it was in the game. Next, I wanted to make a swinging animation, which also I couldn't find a suitable version of it on Mixamo. Now the swinging in this game is completely different from the modern Spider-Man games. In the newer one, the movement is controlled by real-time physics as it should be, but in this game that didn't exist, because the first Spider-Man game that used proper swinging physics was the PS2 Spider-Man game, which came a few years after this. During the time of this game, Spider-Man was just basically swinging from air, playing a simple loop animation. I guess the webs were attached to Uncle Ben. For making the swinging animation, I watched a YouTube video of the gameplay and looked at his swinging frame by frame to check each movement. I tried to match everything as accurately as possible, and I think it looks pretty fine now. In the old Spider-Man games, the fingers weren't animated, probably because of the technical limitations, but since this is 2025, I decided why not animate the fingers and make his proper web shooting gesture with his hand. It feels much better this way. Then I created an on-air animation which will play when he jumps or when he's in the air. And then I imported the Spider-Man model into Unity, and now as you can see, he's playing the idle animation. It looks just like the 2000 Spider-Man. Then I added the camera movement like an actual third-person game where you can control it with mouse. The older Spider-Man game didn't have that option, and a lot of people felt frustrated with the camera. So since this is a remake, we're improving the technology. Let's add a proper camera movement with the mouse, just like in the modern third-person games. One problem I noticed in the game right now was the texture. As you can see, it looks very dull, but in the real Spider-Man 2000 game, it was pretty light-hearted, and the art style had a more comical, accurate approach to Spider-Man, so I wanted it to look just like that. So I took the textures and opened them in paint.net and adjusted the color and saturation, and now it looks really good. This gives me the nostalgia and actually reminds me of the original game. Then I created the movement script and the blend tree animations. After that, I added the jumping mechanics, and now as you can see, we can move around and jump just like Spider-Man. Now let's create the combat mechanics. I used ChatGPT to create a combat script and make sure it follows the punching and kicking combo just like how it was in the original game. This part was really tough for me because it was the first time I was actually making a melee combat system with a lot of animation and combos. My animation controller was looking so complicated at one point. I was honestly wondering how they managed to do this all back in 2000s without ChatGPT. They even had a separate jump kick and punch animation back in the original game.
Never soft.
Was able to build this in a cave!
leave with a box of scraps!
There are 3 combos for the punching and kicking: the small one, medium one, and the large one. When I was checking the original game, I noticed something interesting. If you're doing the punching animation and you reach the second combo and then you press the kick button, the game plays the third kick combo. It doesn't start from the beginning. So there's basically a combo number which keeps increasing with every punch or kick, and which animation you play depends on which button you press when you simultaneously press different buttons. So I made sure my code also works exactly like that. Finally, the combat was implemented just like how I wanted it. Now next up, we need to implement the swinging mechanics. Since this is not using the modern Spider-Man's physics-based swinging, it was actually pretty easy to make. What I did was, when Spider-Man is in the air and you press the swing button, he moves forward in the air by disabling gravity and plays the swinging animation. After a few seconds, when the animation finishes, gravity turns back on and he transitions back to idle animation. Now one thing missing from the swinging is the web. Now it feels like Spider-Man is just flying on the air right now because there's no web attached to his hands, and we want him to be Spider-Man, not Superman. So I searched for a web model on the Sketchfab. Then I found this web model which looked really good, but then I checked out its polygons and it had like 24,000 triangles. So I imported it to Blender and used the decimate function to reduce the number of polygons in the model while still looking good. Then I imported the web model to Unity and attached it to Spider-Man's hands. Now if I keep it simply like that, the web would always be visible on his hands, and that would look weird. I want it to appear whenever only it's needed during the animation. So I created a Unity animation for the web where it enables and disables at specific moments according to the swinging animation. And this web animation plays at the same time Spider-Man plays the swinging animation. So they sync together. As you can see here, Spider-Man is now swinging and the web appears and disappears when it's needed. Basically, the model is always there. It's just being enabled and disabled according to the animation I gave. I increased the height of the web model so that the end of the web is invisible. If the player can see where the web ends, it becomes less immersive. We want the player to be able to feel like the web is attached to somewhere off screen, not just floating in the air. Now the Spider-Man part is done. Next up, we need the henchmen. They're basically patrolling goons on top of the rooftops in this level. So I went to Sketchfab and found this model. What the hell is he doing? Okay, this model is fixed. Let's go and rig him. When I imported him to Mixamo, there were some problems because his rig wasn't proper. Mixamo wasn't able to identify it correctly, so I had to remove his armature. RIP thriller dance animation, you will be missed. I wanted the enemy to roam around patrolling on the rooftop just like in the original game and then move towards the player when he gets close. So I asked ChatGPT to create a script like that and I attached the script to the enemy and now it's working. As you can see, he's patrolling around and when I get close to him, he starts chasing me and starts attacking me when he's close. I can also attack him, but nothing is actually happening. It feels like the most useless fight ever. So to make these hits actually land on each other, we're gonna create some hitboxes. These are basically triggers that I'm gonna attach to their hands and legs. So when they're playing the attacking animation and these hitboxes touch their opponent, it's gonna affect their health. When the health decreases to 0, they're gonna die, whether it's Spider-Man or the enemy. I also added a hit animation for when the person gets hit, so it actually feels like there's an impact to the punch instead of just passing through them. At first I was confused why Spider-Man wasn't getting hit. Even after getting so many punches, Spider-Man completely remained unfazed. Then I checked the scene window and that's when I realized Spider-Man's collider was too short, that enemies' punches weren't actually touching it. So I increased the height of the collider and the problem was fixed. Then I added the hit animation for every punch from the enemy and now it feels much more realistic. I also added it for the enemy so that you can beat him up pretty fast instead of getting hit while you're punching. I disabled the hitbox once the enemy is dead or else something like this will happen. I checked online and found out that someone had actually extracted the game's audio files and uploaded them. Now the sound effects of this game is really nostalgic to me, so I quickly downloaded and played them. I found the punching sound effects and quickly imported them to my project. I also wanted to add a beating effect, kind of like a small particle that appears for a brief moment when your punches or kicks hit the enemy or vice versa. I noticed this in the original game, so I tried making something similar using the Unity's particle system and I think it looks good enough. So in the game files, there were 3 or 4 variations for each sound effect. For example, in the punch sound, there was a big punch and a medium punch and a small one. Even for the footsteps, there were 3 to 4 variations. They probably did this to avoid repetitive sound effects being played, preventing the player from getting irritated. It also makes everything feel more realistic. So I imported those variations into my game. I used the random function to select which audio to play each time, just like how the original game did. Okay, let me decrease the volume a bit or my parents will misunderstand me. I then added the swinging sound effect. Spider-Man makes this sound effects when he's punching, and when the punch hits, there's the punch sound effect. Now the basic mechanics of our game are working. Now I just want to add the city models just like how they were in the first mission. I found these building models from the Sketchfab, and I think they kinda gave a similar vibe to the buildings in the game, so I imported them to Blender and arranged them just like how it was in the original game. Now for the Fantastic Four building that's shown right in the beginning, I couldn't find a suitable model for that. So what I did was I just used this tall building, and then I added the 3D model of number 4 on top of it, arranged it just like how it was in the game. I know this looks lame, but I had no other option. So now I've added the buildings to my project, and as you can see, Spider-Man is moving around on the rooftop. Now he can swing from one building to the other. Okay, I think I should decrease the swinging speed. The enemy seems to be walking in air, so I modified his code so that he only chases me when I am on ground, so that this bug doesn't happen. Now I wanted to add a skybox that looks just like the game. I made Gemini generate a skybox that gave a dystopian feel in our game, but it generated something like this, and it had a more green color to it, which I didn't feel like the original game's vibe, so I thought I'll change it later. Let's just keep this for now. Then I worked on the music. In the first level, when the enemy sees you, and when you defeat him, there are certain songs that play in the background. It plays differently for the first enemy and for the second enemy, so I coded it just like that and imported the audio files, and now as you can see, a different beat plays when you defeat each enemy. So I wanted to create the first cutscene in the game with Black Cat and all.
Hey, Black Cat, what's going on?
So I downloaded the Black Cat model, and as you can see, this one looks pretty good. But one problem is that her suit is black in color. Now if you remember the original game, she had a blue suit. Yes, Black Cat had a blue suit. They probably wanted to go for the older comics look, that's why it's blue. Venom, Black Cat, and even the symbiote Spidey has a dark blue color instead of pure black. Now of course I couldn't find a blue color Black Cat since no other game after this had a Black Cat looking like that. So what I did was I downloaded this model, then I took the texture image. As you can see, the suit is black in color, so I uploaded this texture to Gemini and ChatGPT and told them to convert the suit to blue in color. Now this is what ChatGPT ended up making, and it didn't quite match what I asked for. It even made the hair blue. I tried applying this texture to the model and it looked very disappointing. This is not the look I wanted to go for. Then I went over to Gemini and this is what he created. I was like, this is also bad, man. But that's when I noticed he did put the original source image in front of the texture, but the texture that was behind that was actually accurate. I told it to remove that Black Cat image from the texture, and then it gave me this. This is exactly what I wanted. Gemini is pretty talented, but it's also pretty stupid at the same time.
Tells me you're brilliant. He also tells me you're
Stupid.
There were slight variations in the layout of the texture, so I arranged it properly like the original texture so that the UV matches it. So then I applied this texture to the model and it looked like this. This is exactly what I wanted. I increased the smoothness and metallicness of the suit so that it matches what the original creators intended to do, but that made the hair and skin look glossy too, since they were all using the same material. So I applied a different material for the skin and hair, and now it looks perfect. I rigged her and set up the required animations. In the beginning of every cutscene, there is this iris effect as using a Spider-Man logo, so I took a screenshot of it from my gameplay video, then I uploaded it to ChatGPT to enhance the image. After that, I used it to create this iris effect. I don't know if this is the actual way of doing the iris effect, but I found this sneaky way myself. But hey, if it works, it works. I created the fog effect using the particle system. If you remember, you couldn't fall down in the game as the city was filled with poisonous gas by Doc Ock, so I did the same here. Then I created the camera animation for the initial Stanley commentary. Then I changed the skybox to something that matches the game a bit more. I just put the screenshot of the game to ChatGPT and told it to generate this skybox, and this time it actually nailed it. Then I gave some post-processing effects to make it look better. Now I feel like this really gives the vibe of the original game. Now the next part was the cutscene of Spider-Man and Black Cat talking. This was the hardest to make because it was a Unity animation and a scripted coroutine working together, and somehow after a long time of working on it, it finally looked good.
Hey, Black Cat, what's going on?
Then I used Gemini to create a high quality looking compass and health bar, and they looked really good. I made the health bar a slider in Unity and it will decrease as Spidey gets hit. And finally the game looked like this.
Welcome, true believers and newcomers alike. Spider-Man co-creator Stan Lee here. Once again, we find our hero Peter Parker, better known around the world as the Amazing Spider-Man, in a heap of trouble. But this is just the beginning, Spidey fans. So get ready for a true superhero action thriller, packed to the brim with thrills and chills, twists and turns, more supervillains than you can shake a web at, and of course, non-stop web-slinging, wall-crawling action.
Hey, Spider.
Hey, Black Cat, what's going on?
I know there's been some trouble, but the bank's being robbed, and they've got hostages. Use your Spidey compass to get to the bank quickly.
Thanks, Cat.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.